Hello, hello! It's Naveen with Naveen's Cuisine. Happy Monday! It's a good day to stay home and do some baking. It's kind of cold, 65 degrees out there, and listening to some nice jazz. Dave Brubeck. Doesn't get better than that. Today I'm making Pâte Briseé, which is French for pie pastry, pie dough. Very simple recipe. For each batch, it's 1 cup flour, a pinch of salt, and 1 stick of butter, which means half a cup butter, cut in pieces, nice and cold. And you always have a glass of iced water next to you to add on. Today I'm making 2 batches of that. So I'm going to do 2 cups flour. We're going to have some on the side to dust our board and our hands with. Pinch of salt. Mix it up. You can have one of those guys, pastry blender. You can actually put it in the blender too. So we're going to add some of these cut up pieces of butter. We do the first batch with a little butter. We're kind of cutting into the butter, mixing it with the flour. It's always good to have the butter cold out of the fridge. Makes it nice and fluffy, and it doesn't melt and stick to your hands when you start working with it. If it's melted butter or warm, it's a problem. Pâte Briseé is one of the oldest pastries. You can use it for quiche, for pies, tarts. With some sugar to make a pâte sucrée for fruit tarts. Now we're gonna add the other batch. So remember, for 1 batch only, it makes you like a 9-inch pan, pie pan. That would be 1 cup and half a cup of butter, equivalent to a stick. And you cut it in small pieces. You mix it in nicely with the flour. You can also throw all that in a blender, and then while it starts forming a ball, then you start slowly adding the cold water in to bring it all together. See, it's starting to crumble. The butter starts to crumble in the flour. And I'm going to start adding a little bit of the iced water, a little bit at a time. Don't add too much at the beginning because it might be too much. Then you'll have to add flour all over again. A little bit. I would say keep like a cup of iced water handy, but you might not use it all. Don't feel obligated to use it all. It's just there to form the dough. And bring the butter and the flour all together. And I can mix it a little bit with a fork. Don't overwork it because you don't want the butter to melt. I'm just trying to bring it together in a nice bowl so I'm able to throw it on top of the board. And roll it out with a rolling pin. So now that the pâte brisée is all nice and mixed well, I'm gonna get a board, flour the board, and that beautiful bowl, I'm gonna turn it over here and start working it. Beautiful, nice and mixed well. Let's throw some flour on top so it doesn't stick to my hands. So now I get a rolling pin and spread it out. Usually you can put it in the fridge for a couple hours and then start working with it. But I'm a little impatient today because I have a lot on my to-do list. So you can use pâte brisée for so many different things. It's very simple and easy to make. So you make sure you have enough flour because it's sticking to the board already. You can make a nice pan. Make little pizzas on it, quiches, savory pies, sweet pies, fruity pies. So you're gonna size it up. I don't know what pan you want to use or what are you gonna do with it, but the basic recipe is this right here. Nice and easy. So what I'm intending to do, I have this quarter sheet pan and I want to make a recipe that we're going to go through in the next chapter. So I think it'll be about, let's see here. I'm going to slice it up. So it's about that. But remember, I need a little bit of sides to it. So I'll give it another roll. And any leftovers, throw it in a Ziploc bag and saran wrap, freeze it. Then you can use it for something else. Easy. Don't throw it away. You're going to be wasting all this nice butter and flour. Like I said, this right here, the leftovers, can make a nice little 6-inch pie or so. So over here, I have some melted butter. I always leave some nice soft butter on the counter so I can throw it on my English muffin or toast in the morning with some jam. One of my favorite simple breakfasts. So we're gonna grease the pan, some butter, then we're gonna throw in some flour just enough to dust it. So you're gonna kind of dust it to the sides, the bottom. That way the pastry would not stick to it, whatever you're using it for. Then I'm gonna move my pastry. It's good to have it wrapped around your rolling pin. And I'm gonna unroll it right here. Could be here, or could be in a round pan, whatever you're using. And I will slowly, with my fingers, kind of make sure, tidy it up with my fingertips, make sure that the sides are covered, because if you're making a quiche or anything that's going to go inside, you don't want it pouring over or slipping. So I'm gonna keep moving it until all the sides are nice and uniform and covered for whatever filling I'm gonna be using next. Meantime, while I'm getting the filling ready, here is Pâte Briseé, the simplest recipe. I'm gonna stick it in the fridge so it keeps its composure and the butter does not melt from the heat generated by my fingers, or because the oven is going on already at 350. So it's best to put it back in the fridge until we're ready for the filling. Pâte Briseé, ladies and gents.